my name is Julie and I am with the Library of Things here at the Tahlequah Public Library. And first of all, what I would like to do is talk to you a little bit about the Cricut, which is one of our newest things in the Library of Things that you can use. A little bit about what came in the box. Well, of course, this Cricut came in the box. There you go, there's our Cricut. Along with it is some various items that you would use to do your first project, which is this marker, and this is called a scoring tool that came with it. Other items that came with our Cricut is this Open Me First, which is going to give you information about how to log into their website and how to set your Cricut up so that you can be in their design space, which is where you design all of the projects you want to do. It also comes with this book here, and that is a very nicely done book. You can see the pictures are very nice. What came with the box would be the rotary blade, which is installed already for you. There is a fine point blade also, which is here. It also came with the pin, which I showed you previously. You're also going to have two mats. The blue mat, which is the one that you will probably, or at least I use the most. This one is the light grip mat, and it is for things like vinyl or paper or cardstock, just your everyday project cutting. And then the next one is this pink one, which is a fabric grip, and it has a much stronger stick to it in order to hold the fabric down. And those two mats also came in the kit. It also has the USB cable for you to hook up to your computer, the power adapter, and then it also has the materials for your first project. And that is what came with the Cricut when we first purchased it. The first project was a pair of lips, and it came with the paper, and then it showed you step by step how to do this project. So it was very simple, and it's a good introductory project for you to do. We also, as the library, because we're going to be using this on a regular basis, purchased some extra items such as metallic pens, which I love. This is a spatula. You can use it to scoop the vinyl off or the card off when you're done. This is a tool I use all the time and then some scissors and weeding tools and various things, which as we do the craft, I will show you some of the different items that we will be using. Also, I should mention that on the Cricut itself are these two nice pockets for you to put. I like to put what I'm going to need for the project that I am working on. And also, when you open the Cricut up, you will see here is the blade that came preloaded. This is where you would put a pen if you're going to use a pen, which we are. Of course, your power button, your load paper, and then this is your start the craft button, and then this is a pause button after you find you're making a mistake, which yeah, I use that because I make mistakes. And then also this tray, and it also will hold materials for you as you are needing them for working. We also purchased this cutter because we do a lot of paper crafts here, and so we wanted to have a cutter there. And those are all optional items that you can purchase outside if you decide to get a Cricut, or actually very happily use ours. At this point in time with the Cricut, we are requesting that you book a librarian in order to use it, and we will design the project with you and work with you to do the project. That is it for what came in the box. Also, you would log into the internet and you would go to their website and set up your account and your design space so that you can use it in conjunction with a laptop, a desktop computer. You can also use it with an iPad or an iPhone. It also has a port on the side of it that you could actually plug in an iPad or an iPhone, and it will also charge it while you are working. So that's a good feature to have also if you're like me and let your phone run down all the time. Okay, that's it for what came in the package. Okay, and so now what I'm going to do is show you two simple projects that you can do with your Cricut, and that is a greeting card that says happy birthday to you, and a thinking of you card. I left it blank because, you know, you can write whatever you want in there. And then the happy birthday to you card. And just so that you know, this was my very first attempt, and there's quite a difference, I think, anyway. And also, this was my very first attempt with the card, and so there is a difference. And each time you use it, you get, better and better, just like with anything. So this is what the Cricut design space is going to look like when you first pull it up. So you can see as a library we have done various projects, and this time we're going to select new project. And you will see various things up on the top that are going to help you, and we're going to look at some of these buttons as we go. And over here is our layers section, and also we will be working with this quite a bit. And then down here is the different templates and images that you can pull up where you're going to do your text and those items that we will work with for that. So the first card we are going to make is the happy birthday card. The first thing you're going to want to do is go where it says shapes, and I'm going to pick a square. And here the shape is on here. You will notice, let me pull this out here, this padlock right here. If you don't unlock your square, it's going to go on a 1-to-1 ratio. So I want it to be different than that. I'm going to hit this unlock button, and once I unlock it, I can then go up here and I can manipulate the size that I want it to be for myself. And this square I want it to be 5.5 wide, so 5.5 inches wide. And here we're going to make it at 4.25 inches wide, and I'm going to hit enter. And so this is what my square size is going to be. And for me to be able to see what I am working on, I'm going to go ahead and change this color right here where you see this black square. I'm going to change it to white because I want to see what I'm doing. Okay? You will also notice right here that it just simply says I have a square with a basic cut, which is exactly what I want the Cricut to do, is just cut this out, okay? And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this square because I'm going to use another square in this project. And over here, you'll see where it says duplicate. And there we have it. And I'm going to change the dimensions of this square to something a little bit smaller so that it will fit inside here. So again, you have to unlock it. And the dimensions of this square is going to be 5.25. So I'm going to change that to 25 and hit enter. And then by 4.0, which I will change this to 0 and hit enter. And now you can see that it's just a little bit smaller. So I'm going to work with this for just a second. This square right here, we're going to change it from a basic cut to a pen. And so I'm going to change it to draw with the pen, and I'm going to change the color because I'm going to use a metallic color. Honestly, you can pick whatever color you want to because it's going to do whatever you put in here. So I'm just going to pick a raspberry color just so that I can see what this is going to look like. And the next thing I'm going to do is select them both, which you can highlight them both here and have them selected, or you can come over here and hit shift on the keyboard and select them both here, as long as you both have them selected. And I am going to center these. So I want to center them first horizontally, and I'm going to go back up to a line, which you can see right here at this top taskbar, and I'm going to also center them vertically. So now I know this is centered 100%. And again, I want to make sure they are both selected because down here in the bottom right hand corner is this button that says attach, and I want to attach them. Now when I move them, they move as one. Before, and I can, if I would have left them the way they were without attaching them, I would have moved one and the other would have stayed there. And so we want to make sure that they are attached to each other so that the Cricut is going to recognize that it needs to draw that square before it cuts out the other one. Sorry for the noise. That is going to just be 1 second while it turns on. The next thing that I want to do now is I want to go over to my texting box here. And the Cricut has a few free texts that you can use, but most of them you will get when you subscribe to the Cricut packet. And what that will do is allow for you to have downloads and various texts and some different free projects. And they want you to do that on their website. And as a library, because we are going to be doing many projects, we did that. If you're at home, you may choose not to do that, and that's completely up to you. And I'm going to go and I'm going to pick a font here. Because it's writing, I want something that's going to be thin. If it's not something that's thin, then what will happen is you will have to color that in. It won't color it in for you, it will just do the outline. So to save myself some time, I'm going to go here to this filters, and I'm just going to pick one that's a writing one. And I want to make sure that it's going to be something that can be easily read. So I might come down here. I use this telegraph text quite a bit, and so I'll probably just use this one. And I'm going to put in here to you with an exclamation point, okay? And I'm just going to hit anywhere over here to get that to disappear. What I'm going to do is put this down here, and here it is right there. And once again, for me, I'm going to change the color. So there is that, and now what I'm going to do is highlight, so they're all selected, and I'm going to attach that to the paper, and that tells me that everything that is as a pen is going to write onto that paper. Okay, so then the next thing that we are going to do is pick the happy birthday, and so we are going to go here to this images. And just as a side note, really the longest thing of the whole project is getting a design. Once you get a design and you are ready to make it, it goes very quickly. So, but I also think that designing it is the funnest part. So, and let's see here. I'm gonna type in happy birthday and just do a search. And I mean, I'm just looking for something that looks nice and that is not too squished together. One thing you will have to do is take it off of the paper and put it onto your card. I want it to be, you know, as easy as possible. Once you get your image picked, then you are going to do insert image, and you can see that it has pulled that image over to me. And the only thing that I'm going to do with this image is unlock it and size it down. And once you get it to where you want it, and you can be as precise as you want to, I just eyeballed it. And then you can see it's going to say happy birthday to you. And I will be changing the color of this in a moment. I'll show you how to do that. But on this particular one, you don't need to attach it. After you attach it, it's going to cut it out of the card. So you want to make sure that it's not attached, okay? And just leave it right there, no problem. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is come over here and get another rectangle, or I'm sorry, square. And I'm going to color that one, just pick a color because I'm going to end up throwing this away, but it'll serve a purpose for me. And now I'm going to go here to images, and I'm going to pick a balloon. And so I'm going to go back over here to images, and I'm going to type in balloon. Okay, so once you get your balloon, you can then hit again insert image. And it's going to pull this balloon in here. I want to call attention right here. As you can see, there is a blue balloon and there is a brown balloon, because this balloon is layered, and I picked it for that reason. Because what I'm going to do is go up here to this taskbar at the top. I want to ungroup it, and I'm going to ungroup it so that I can pull the blue one off the top. Now this serves two purposes for me. One, it gives me an extra balloon because I'm going to have 3 of them. And 2, it pulls this top layer off, and maybe I don't want the highlight of this bottom layer. I only have just the blue and no highlight of this gray. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to size this balloon down, and again I'm just going to kind of eyeball it to, you know, what I want it to look like. And I'm going to put it over here because what we're going to do is kind of have it go off the page a little bit. And so maybe I'm going to do this so it looks like it's floating away. So I have it like that. And then here's this one, which I'm actually going to duplicate. But you can see this button right here says duplicate. And I'll duplicate that one. So now I have my 3 balloons. And it just saved me a step to separate the 2 balloons out. I'm going to put it right here. And turn a little bit. Just put this one down a little bit. Just cut the top off. And so what's going to happen is, at the end, I forgot that my happy birthday wasn't moving all over with me. What's going to happen at the end is these are going to look like they're going off the page. Okay, so now I'm going to use this paper here, and I'm going to take this balloon and bring it over here and kind of position it where I wanted it to be on the card. Okay, and then I need to highlight both of these like that, and I'm going to come down here to the bottom taskbar over here on the right, and I'm going to hit slice. And what this does is it cuts this out, which I think it looks funny because it looks like hair, and I'm going to delete that, and it cuts this out. And now I'm going to get rid of this because this machine will only slice 2 things at a time. Okay, and if you leave that cut piece in there, it assumes that that is a piece and it will give you fits. So now you can see my balloon is now the shape of that corner. I'm going to do this on this one, and I need to bring this, I'm going to send the big page to the back and pull this up a little bit further maybe, and like that. And then I have to select them both, and I'm going to go back over here to slice, and it takes a second, and it's going to slice that off. And I have this one here that I want to keep, and this one that I want to go away, and this one that I want to go away. And I'm going to do this one last time, and that really is the whole point of this last rectangle, is to get the balloons in the spot what you want them to look like on your card. Okay, well, here we go, and this is what our card is going to look like. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this over. I forgot a step here. You see right here on this task windows here, this is your cut window. You see where it has happy birthday, and then it has a basic cut with gold and one with green. I hid this layer here because if you unhide it, you see what it looks like, but I don't want it to do that. Okay, so I hid that layer, and that is an option for you. So now it just looks like this happy birthday, and I wanted to go through that, but I forgot. Now this is what it's going to look like. So I want this happy birthday, I want to change the color on it. Well, first let's change this balloon. I'm going to change that to red, and I also have a really bright blue, so I'm going to do this. And then on this one, I have picked pink. Now, again, these colors, it doesn't really matter what you pick here because you're going to put your paper up there anyway. And then this happy birthday, I want to change the color, and I want to change it to this pink here. So I'm going to pick that color, which is exactly the same as what it was. Okay. So this is what our card is right now, and you can see what we have done with it. I'm going to come over here. Once I have everything done the way that I want to do it, the way that I want to have it, I'm going to come over here in the top right hand corner, and I'm going to hit make it. And what that is going to do is take this and put it over here, and it's going to sort the mats, and it's going to go by color. So you can see this white is going to be the white cardstock here that we have. And so I'm going to take my light grip mat and take this. This generates a lot of static. So I usually try to put it somewhere that is out of the way so that it's not falling all over or causing a lot of static on the work that I'm doing. You can watch a YouTube video about how to put paper on, but I'm going to show you how I do it and the easiest way for me to do it. To turn it upside down. And then I'm going to put this on just like that and just line it up. And this right here, you're going to use it to push the paper down just like that to get it on there nice and tight so that it doesn't wrinkle up when you are trying to use it. Okay, and you can see right here, there are guidelines just right here. And you want your mat to go right here, and you're going to put it right against the bar and come back over to your screen and hit continue. It's going to ask you to pick the material that you are using. If you are using a variety of material like I am doing, you need to pay attention to this because it's going to cut deep for one and not deep for another. And if I showed you a close-up of our cutting mat, you would see where we have cut through the paper because we did not heed that step. And I'm going to pick a medium cardstock, so we're going to pick that. And then it's going to tell me what my tools are going to be. And so remember how we were going to draw around there, right? So I have this ready here, and I'm using this metallic color. And you want to flip that open just like that. Is very simple. On the pin you'll notice there is an arrow, and you're going to hold on to the bottom here and push it in just like that, and then make sure you close that, and you'll see this flashing button here that say load. So I'm going to load the paper in, and now you can see it's flashing here on this C, which says to make it or go. And it's going to go. And if you look here on your screen, you will see that it's preparing to make the cut. And the first thing it's going to do is draw the square. And now it's telling me to load a different pen color, but I'm using the same color. So I'm just going to push go. At that point, if you were using a different color, you could open it back up and change the color out, close it back up, and then hit go. And now it's going to come over here and detect the cutting tool. And so the cutting tool, it will come up and cut. And because we made our squares a little bit smaller on the inside, it's going to give a layered effect. And now it's telling me that it's done, and to take the paper out. And so you can kind of see here where it looks like it's a layered effect of the card, but in actuality, we just drew that on and the writing here. Now, it's going to tell us to load our next material. When you are working with paper and cardstock, you want to not just pull it off. After you just pull it off, it's going to curl the paper, and your card is going to curl, and that's not going to be very pretty. So you want to turn it upside down, and I just guide my hand under, and I take the mat off and not the paper, if that makes sense. To guide my hand and take the mat off like that. And my paper is straight, my card is straight, okay? Now the next thing I'm going to do is cut the blue balloon out. And now this is the time where I'm going to come over here to where it says medium cardstock, and I'm going to change that to vinyl because I am using a vinyl. And I have my material. One thing you can do to make sure that this goes smoothly for you is have your material ready and out and waiting for you. And grab the right material. That's always helpful. I don't need a big piece here because it's a small balloon. And I will show you how you can see and understand how much you are going to need or not need, okay? When you see this square here, you can click edit. You can see that I only need a 2x2 square, and I have plenty more than 2x2. So that's how you can judge how much, and I like to do that because if I can use up my scrap material, then that's always good. I don't have that sitting around, okay? And now I'm done editing it, so you don't have to, and I made the mistake of thinking I always had to cover the entire surface, and you don't have to do that really. Now I'm going to put it back into the guides, and I'm going to load my paper in. I did not take this pen out, and I'm just going to go ahead and take it out now because I don't need it anymore. And I'm going to hit go. Alright, so then this vinyl is done, and it's a little hard to see, but you can see right here where the balloon was cut out. And this is vinyl, so you can just pull it right off, and it's not going to matter if it curled or not. And the next one it tells me to do is the red. And on this, it's going to actually cut two things out. It's going to cut this happy birthday out of the red, and it's going to cut this balloon out. So I will put this paper on and we'll get that going. And you want to make sure there are no wrinkles in your paper. Putting it on. And I don't have to switch the material because we are still working with vinyl. And I'm sorry, make sure that goes in. And push it out. While that is cutting, I will show you how to do the vinyl. So let me get these. And oftentimes what I will do is this very thing where while one is cutting, I will work with the other and save a little bit of time. I want to get all of the surrounding glue off. So I'm gonna grab this little tool. This is a weeding tool. And there are various types of weeding tools, and I'm going to just kind of grab it right here and try and get it up. And I'm going to pull it off to where it looks like this. Now, if you have different intricate things or words, then you're going to want to make sure that you are careful with you pulling the vinyl off because you could tear something. And this is done, so we are going to get the paper out. And again, you can kind of see where it says happy birthday, and here is the next balloon. And then the final color, which is the red. And we're gonna put the red on. The red is a glitter paper. Glitter papers are neat and cool, but sometimes they don't work or play well with others. I like to do things on the glitter paper that are easy to pull out, because otherwise you have something that is going to require the use of the tweezers, and the tweezers are not my friend. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit load and go. And it's going to be quick because it's only cutting that one balloon. Okay, and then you can see here is this balloon. So all of our items now are cut out, and now what we are going to do is assemble them. And I'm going to put this over here for just a moment so I have a little bit of workspace. So we're going to cut some transfer tape out, big enough to cover the balloon paper. And you can also use clear contact paper if you wish. That also works. And I'm going to take the back off of this. And I'm going to cover this balloon and take my flat edge here. And I'm just going to go over it a couple of times, and my goal is to peel these off and have the balloon stick to the paper, the transfer paper, and on this sheet that it was on, not the backing it was on. And sometimes it's so happy to cooperate, and sometimes it is like a mean and spiteful child. Line it up in the corner, just like that. Okay, it's a little crooked, so I'm gonna hold this up here. And if you are a perfectionist, you can, but sometimes, a lot of times, it will tear the paper if you keep pulling it off and all. So I just, and there's the first balloon. And you can use this paper more than once. And what I'm going to do over here is hit finish. And this little project is done. I'm not going to use the transfer paper on the glitter because it does not like to stick. So I'm just going to peel it off myself. sometimes you have to kind of guide it if it doesn't want to come off of the transfer paper. And you want to be careful when you're actually on your card because you don't want it to tear. If you are going to draw a string from your balloons, okay, if you're going to draw that, this is the time to do it. So now you can just put your happy birthday on there and you don't have to worry about it being in the way of your drawing. The only thing is if you're going to use actual string, which a lot of people will do is use actual string, then you are going to want to wait because your happy birthday may bubble over that and then it won't stick correctly and then it won't look nice. And I'm going to cut from the transfer tape, piece of tape that is big enough to cover this happy birthday. Normally I would just keep using this until it loses its sticky, but it's not big enough. Take this now and I'm going to peel the vinyl off of here, and I'm going to be careful because of these leathers. So each leather has little things that are attached to it, see there? And so you have to kind of pull carefully. And I have made this particular card 3 times now as practicing and then showing it. And so I'm kind of getting used to where the little things are, but you want to make sure that you don't just pull it, or you might pull a leather off and then you're going to be in trouble. And so now I think you can see where not everything came off, and that is where weeding is going to come in handy. And so you can hear someone say weed, someone say pick, but I'm going to weed it. And I'm just going to grab this piece right here in the middle. And once you get that all weeded and start to look like you have the chicken pot, you will take your transfer tape and you're going to put it on the happy birthday. And I'm going to put it on here, and this generates static also, so just bear that in mind. When you're doing the letters, you gotta kind of really squeeze it down on there. And so a lot of times I will run it across here and I will flip over and run it across here and so on. And you can try, and now when it comes in handy is if you see a letter that is struggling to come on, you can just use your finger to hold it in place where it goes. But there we go. That just keeps getting on me today and go very quickly. And now I wanted my Y to go over my O. I'm going to push this down and kind of just help it stick and pull it off very carefully and gently because I don't want to tear the paper.